Now, we've been talking about how Trump was going to continually come out and point the finger at the Fed. And as the economy really starts to fall apart, and I'm talking about the actual people's economy, not these statistical numbers. When we start to see the economy, and we're seeing it now, deteriorate, decline, Trump is going to blame every little thing on the Fed. He needs to keep this out in the public domain. Why? Why does he need to keep it in the public domain? He needs everyone to continually hear it over and over and over again. Because when the system comes down, and you can see the mainstream media, they're reporting now that, we might see a huge stock market fall. We might be entering a recession. And they're building this up. Now, again, Trump, he's been pumping this economy up using the same manipulation that the central bankers, deep state, used in the past. And many people, even myself, when he first came into office, said, why is Mnuchin there? Why are these people in these positions? Well, it's starting to become a little bit clearer right now of why Trump put certain people into certain positions. Now, other people were forced upon him, and those people he kind of got rid of. But certain individuals he kept, and there's always a reason for this. Think about this for a second. The entire system, and we've been talking about this for quite a while, we've been talking about how they manipulate all data, how they manipulate the GDP. During Obama's term, they went all the way back to 1929, added in research and development into the GDP numbers, recalculated GDP all the way to the present day to make GDP numbers look a lot better. We know that they don't count, certain people who've fallen off, who are no longer looking for a job. Well, even though they haven't gone on an interview within 4 weeks, they're not really looking. And they're not counted. So they manipulate all this data. They also manipulate the stock market. Now, the reason why Trump needed certain, should I call them specialists in manipulation, he needed them on board, and he needed them to do what they do best. Manipulate the numbers. Manipulate the market. Do what they've always been doing. And actually, he wanted them to do a better job. And guess what they're doing? They're doing just that. He's using these individuals for a period of time to manipulate this entire system. He needs to show the world, the mainstream media, the people of the United States, that the economy is doing well. Because in the end, he's going to say the economy is fantastic, while he's pointing the finger at the Fed, saying those are the individuals that are responsible. That organization that is private, they're responsible. That's what this whole plan is about. And as you can see, as we move forward, what is he going to do? He's going to continually blame the Fed. He's going to blame the Fed for layoffs, blame the Fed for manufacturing, blame the Fed for stock market crash, blame the Fed for unemployment numbers going up, blame the Fed for GDP numbers going down. He's going to blame the Fed for housing crash. He's going to blame the Fed for every single crash in this system. He's already started to do this. And there's a reason for this. Remember, they're responsible for the economy. What have they been doing with the economy since they took control? Well, we've gone through these cycles. Pump the bubbles up, crash them down. Pump the bubbles up, crash them down. And he knows when he came into office that this entire system, because he said it when he was a candidate, it's completely fake, phony, and false. It's not a real economy. These are bubbles. It's an illusion. But I think when he came into office, he started to realize that the system was much worse And there was no way around it unless they pushed it to the edge. And the only way to do this is to have those people on board, to let them do what they do best. Manipulate. Make the economy, of course on paper, look incredible. Pump the stock market up. That's why he took control of all this. Yes, this great economy is mine. If the great economy comes down, guess who's to blame? The Fed. Brilliant move. Now, the mainstream media, they can't do anything about this. They're trying, but it's not working. But we can see worldwide, the entire globalist system is completely cracking and imploding, and it's getting worse and worse as every day that passes. And it's going to get a lot worse. We see German pharmaceuticals, Bayer. They announced they're going to be cutting 12,000 jobs. Now, they employ 118,000 jobs worldwide, but they're going to be cutting 12,000 people. That's roughly 1 in 10 jobs. Why are they doing this? Well, they're blaming a lawsuit because of Monsanto. They're also blaming other things. They're also going to be dropping certain product lines, selling off certain products and smaller companies that are attached to Bayer. And this is absolutely awful. And as we move forward and the economy deteriorates, you're going to see a lot more companies lay off. And of course, they're going to give other reasons why they're doing it. But the real reason is the entire system was built on an illusion. These companies cannot support the amount of people they employ right now. There's just not enough sales. And also, they have a lot of debt. They've been buying back their shares. I mean, think about all these companies that bought back their shares. What happens when the market goes down? They're going to be in trouble. We see jobless claims. They have soared to 8-month highs. So all of a sudden, jobless claims have been dropping, and now they're moving up. What else do we see happening? We see real estate. Well, that is declining very, very quickly. We see housing prices. They are dropping. People are coming down on prices just to try to move their homes. Inventory is moving up. And pending home sales, they have plunged by 2.6% month on month in October. And this was well below the expected 0.5% month on month bounce. Now, on a year-to-year basis, pending home sales fell by 4.6%. This is the 10th consecutive month of annual declines. Now, pending home sales fell in 3 of the 4 regions. And this is very important. Economists consider pending home sales a leading indicator because they track contract signings. Purchases of existing homes are tabulated when a deal closes, typically a month or 2 later. So this gives them a gauge of how well the housing market's going to be. And if pending home sales is declining, guess what? The economy in the housing sector is not doing well. Now, we knew this was going to happen. This should not come as a surprise to anyone. We went through this whole summer where housing sales, they were pretty much stagnant. And as the Fed continually raised rates, which we've talked about many, many times before, we knew it was going to push many individuals out of the market. We knew that it was going to bring down the housing market. Now, the housing market, I do believe, is the pivotal point where everything is attached to it. And once that starts to break and fall apart and come down, it hits many other sectors. And when people aren't confident in housing, where they're saying, oh, you know what, my wealth is in this home, because most people, their wealth is in their home. They're depending on the appreciation. They don't want their housing price to go down. They don't want to purchase a house for $200,000, take out a mortgage, and have the house go down to $110,000 because now you're underwater. Now you're paying $200,000 on a $110,000 house, and guess what? You can't sell it because you lose everything. And then guess what happened? People contract. They don't want to spend money. So that goes into retail, goes into many other industries, and people stop purchasing. This is what happened in 2008, 2009. We're seeing the same thing happen right now, but it's a lot worse. And don't be fooled. Trump knows all this. The people that are working with him, they know that this system, the central bank system, cannot continue to operate in this fashion. That is why they have the key players in their positions. This is why Trump is making new deals, getting rid of the globalist trade deals. I mean, if the globalist trade deals were so great, he would have kept TPP, he would have kept NAFTA, he would have gone along with whatever they said, but he didn't. He reversed everything. And you're going to see him reverse a lot more. Now, he's moving as fast as he possibly can. Remember, the deep state, the central banks, they have created a system over many, many years, not 10 years, not 20 years, not 30 years, hundreds of years, where it's very difficult to unwind all of this in a couple of years. And they did it on purpose. They made everything so convoluted that it's impossible to put the U.S. back to where it was prior to the central bank. But what Trump needs to do right now, which he is doing, he's trying to make this whole entire collapse, this transition scenario, a lot less painful than it would have been under the central bank. Now, can he make it painless? No, I think that's going to be impossible. But he's going to try to minimize the pain for many people. Now, many people are going to get hurt. I mean, you just can't stop it because you need to get rid of one system and you need to restart a new system and transition everyone over to the new system while explaining to everyone why this is happening. And most of the people are not going to understand why this is happening because they've been in a world, a central bank world, where they believe that debt is good, this is the way it's supposed to be, and there's no other way an economy works. We've been brainwashed over the many, many years to think this. And those people, they're going to have a very difficult time, especially those people who believe in the paper dollar. Those people that are protecting their wealth with gold or silver, maybe even cryptocurrency. And now I wouldn't suggest just one insurance policy. I would suggest many insurance policies. This is what I do personally to make sure that I'm protected all the way around. And this is why you still need a little bit of cash. This is why you need gold and silver. This is why you need cryptocurrencies, because you need to be prepared. You also need food, water, medical supplies, because when this transition happens, a lot of things are going to change. Things that you thought would never change, they will change. Things that you never thought would happen, like the store shelves being empty, they might be empty. And people, I don't think, understand, especially those people that are sleeping, that this most likely will happen. Now, we need to understand that this entire system, and we've been saying it for quite a while, it's an illusion. It's something that the central bankers, the deep state, have created to make you think that things are okay here. I'll give you an example. When we talk about unemployment, you have to remember how the Bureau of Labor Statistics figures this out. So, if you have an individual who is working in a part-time job and they work 1 hour a week, the Bureau of Labor Statistics bases the official unemployment rate on employees who did any work for pay or profit during the week being surveyed. So if there's an individual who has a part-time job, worked 1 hour a week, they're working. Does that tell you how great the economy is? No. That's manipulation to make the unemployment numbers look fantastic. So the unemployment rate also fails to include those who have given up looking for work. Remember, if you haven't been on an interview within like 4 weeks or so, you're no longer included in this. You're no longer looking. You've fallen off. And you can see how these numbers are so manipulated. That's why when you look at unemployment numbers and you say, wow, we're down to 3.7. Well, if you have a part-time job and you work 1 hour a week, yeah, that's great. But can you survive on that? No. That's why these numbers are fake. They're an illusion. And if you do this to GDP, and if you do this to many other numbers, they're fake too. Because they manipulate them in such a way to make you believe that everything is great. And then when everything starts to fall apart, everyone scratches their head and says, well, what happened here? Trump has been using all of this to push the agenda of taking down the Federal Reserve, the central bank, using their weapon against them. Because do you really think the mainstream media, the central bank, the deep state is going to say, hey, wait a minute, that's not the real unemployment rate. It should be 15, 18%. Trump then would say, really? This is the calculation that was given to me. I'm using your calculation. You're telling me that you lied all this time, so they're never going to do this. He needed individuals in these key positions to continue with the manipulation and make the economy shine like you've never seen before. To place the blame on the central bank. And we're seeing this narrative form. And he's going to continue with this until the central bank is brought down on its knees and their books are opened up and people see what they have done. That's the ultimate part of this plan.